that he let the Israelites live in the most fertile part of Egypt. They lived up here. Everybody else lived down here. All of Egypt was covered with swarms of flies on the people, on the animals, on the ground. But he says, and I will sever in that day, I will separate the land of Goshen in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there. Why? To the end that thou may knowest that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. And I'll put a division between my people, and he's talking to Pharaoh, and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall be. He says, tomorrow I'm going to cover this earth with flies. You want to worship a fly god? Here, have flies. But he says, for my people up here in this area, no flies. How great is God? He caused the earth to be covered with flies, and the people and the animals in their houses. But up here where his people were, no flies. How great is God? Great. He's greater than their fly god. Yeah. Go to Exodus chapter 9. How great is God? Look what he does here. The Egyptians, like I said, they worshiped thousands of gods. They worshiped a bull, B-U-L-L, a bull god. His name was Apis, the bull god. And look at chapter 9, look at verse 3. Behold, the hand of the Lord is upon thy cattle, which is in the field, upon the horses, all the animals, upon the asses, upon the camels, upon the oxen, upon the sheep. There shall be a very grievous murrain. That's a disease animals get, a deadly disease. And the Lord shall, look at this again, the Israelites had animals too. And the Lord said, I shall sever between the cattle of Israel and the cattle of Egypt. He says, I'm separating them. He said, all the Egyptian animals are going to get this disease, murrain. It's going to kill them. But the animals of the Israelites, no disease. How great is God? He can do whatever he wants to do. And listen to they're 8 and 11 here. Where am I? Verse. And Pharaoh sent, and the Lord appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land. And the Lord did that thing on the morrow, and all the cattle of Egypt died. But of the cattle of the children of Israel died not one. How great is God? He's greater than the bull god Apis. God is showing Egypt, don't worship idols. He's telling us today, don't put anything in front of me. Let's do one more. Hey, stay in chapter 9. Look down at verse 18 and 19. The Egyptians worship a sky goddess by the name of Nut. Can you imagine that? My God is nuts. They were nuts for worshiping Nut. Hey, look here. 18 and 19 of chapter 9. Let's see. Behold, God says this to Moses to tell Pharaoh, behold, tomorrow about this time, I will cause it to rain listen to this, a very grievous hail, such as hath not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, and even until now. He says, send therefore now and gather thy cattle. I mean, he's giving a warning like he gives us today. He said, you don't want to go to hell. You want to come to heaven. So he says, come to me. I'll protect you. Look at this. Send therefore now, and gather thy cattle, and all that thou hast in the field, for upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die. The goddess of the sky, Nut. Oh, by the way, there's 3 gods there. The sky goddess, the god of storms, Seth, and there is Shu, the god of the atmosphere. God says, see, I am greater than all your idols. He says, even nature obeys me. How great is God? Let's do one more there. Chapter 10. Look at verse 4 through 6. The plague of locusts. Down there. So Moses tells Pharaoh one more time. He says, to let my people go. Else if thou, in verse 4, else if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locusts upon thy coast, and they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hail. If anything lived from the hailstorm, the locusts are going to get the rest of it. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen, since the day they were upon the earth, and to this day. The locust, that was a god by the name of Cyrus, S-I-R-I-S, the god of the crops. And also there was a protector, there was a god that protected the crops by the name of Serapia. God says, He says, cannot your gods protect your crops from me? See, I am the one true God. Remember over in Isaiah 44? I am the one true God, and there is none other. God is saying, your idols are nothing. I am God. Let me finish up with this. So how great is God? He is the almighty one true God. That's how great the God is that you worship, that we serve. There is none other. God is more powerful than any idol that you can worship, just like He showed Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Your idols are worthless, are nothing. Worship me. And here's the lesson I get out of this. Be careful what you place in front of God. Just like the Egyptians, He may take that thing away from you. Think about that. Be careful what you worship. Be careful what you put in front of God, because God can take it away from you. How much do you love that thing? More than God? God just may take it away from you. He says, worship me and me only. I am the only one true God. There is none other. Let's have prayer. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for your blessings in life, for your watch care over us. Pray you'll be at today's worship service. Thank you for the study of your word, Lord, and to realize how great you are. How great and mighty God.